Maybe we could just talk and talk forever, and we'll never finish. My story is so big. So when I was 5, my mother tells me, and I can remember a little bit, that whenever she was sick, she felt sick maybe with malaria, I knew that just some of the leaves and tree barks and roots, you make a concoction. So I just collected any, I smashed, put in a cup and water and tell her, drink this, you'll be all right. She would send me outside for something. I come back, the cup is empty, and then I believed that she had taken. I believed that I had actually treated my mom. And then those who came with wounds, bad wounds on the legs or wherever, I could just take soap and water and wash their feet and take care of that wound until it was clean enough, and it healed.
You were 5 even with that?
Just 5 years. When I was 13, my parents married me off.
At 13 you were married off?
Yeah. The guy was much older than I wasn't very happy, but they told me that he would take care of me because he was mature. And so by the time I was about 18, I already had 4 children. I went to high school just for about 2 weeks. And so my friends used to sneak books for me to read. And I was even bearing those babies, I was also reading books. When they sat for the final exam to go to university, I went to sit with them. And my 4th-born child was 4 days old. I opened before the exam, like the night before, and I asked God to help me. And when I went to the exam room, it was just what I was reading, so it was easy. When the results came, they normally put them on the newspaper. A long time ago, they put on the newspaper who was number 1, 2, 3, and I was number 2. The marriage broke. Even before I went to college, we were having some issues because he had many, many girlfriends, of whom sometimes he brought them inside the house. And I didn't like it. In training, I was number 1. When I finished my training in Nairobi, I came back here in Kitale to work. People traveled, walked many miles to reach to us. Some died on the road, some delivered babies on the road. And I decided to come over here, near the people. I just helped them for free. Like 95% of the patients I see don't have any money.
And is the outreach clinic methodology something you see throughout Kenya from other clinics as well? Is it?
Nobody remembered that. I started, then the county, they tried to copy me. They started, but they failed within 1 year. They were not able to do it.
Why not? Why do you think they failed?
Because mine is, I do it for God, but I don't know about them. They started, I said, oh, now they are going to help me. And then within 1 year, they could not do it. But I've been doing it for more than 20 years. It took a while for me to meet Robinson. I said he was from Kitale, from this area. He knew me, like everybody knows who I am because I help them. I'm a midwife. I deliver babies. I take care of the sick. So he knew me very well. And he knew that I was no longer married. And so he came to approach me. And he liked me. And he kept on, how do we say it, pursuing me for 7 years. He'd come to visit me, we were having a cup of tea. Then he went home. And then my son asked me, Mom, why don't you just marry him? Then how does he know? It was so embarrassing. I said, let me now wait for the next question. So when he came, after a while, he asked me, I said, okay, it's all right. He was a gentleman. He was very quiet, very loving. He was much older than me, somebody from England, but he was like Kenyan. He was here for many years. So he was used to the culture and all the rest. So it's him who actually had the money to purchase this property. He actually passed away 10 years ago. We go quickly because the rain is coming. Come, baby boy. Oh, he's taking the camera, I see.
I'm hurrying.
So when he was very sick, he took me to that corner, walking with a stick, and he said, "This is where you'll bury me." And then he was trying to demonstrate where the head should be and the legs. I did not concentrate. He was in ICU for maybe 3 weeks. When he passed away, I could not remember where he said the head should be and the legs. So I called a friend, and he said, "Oh, just put a compass set on the ground and it will give you the direction." And then we laid him here. Okay, so come. As I said, we were giving these mothers medicine to say, give the child. After they got well, I said, bring them for food. And they brought 1, they brought 5, they brought 10, and then eventually there were over 100. Some of them are thrown, they are picked at the gates, or just abandoned here in the hospital. Some of them, when I go to outreach clinics like Ipsongo where we went, and they are so malnourished, I bring them. And the parents say, okay, you can have them. And eventually you find those parents have died. So that we have girl child who the parents didn't want to take to high school. They prefer to take boys to high school, not the girls. So the girls were crying, and maybe they would be forced to get married. Then I decided to protect girl children, putting them in a high school which we built with the help of one of the missionaries, and they stay here with us. They're all in boarding school, normally they're around 200. And they do very well, they pass the exams and go to different universities. Some of them are taking law, others are taking medicine, nursing, everything. Our nursing school is topmost, not in the county, but in the country, Kenya. And it makes me so happy. Yeah. At the hospital, we need a maternity wing. The government has insisted that we build a maternity wing. But it's not easy because you don't have any money for that.
So what happens if you don't? If the government tells you to do something and you can't do it?
Well, they will either snatch the license from you from practicing. Yeah, because we have to pay for everything. Taxes, insurances, licenses. And it's like 5 years ago since they told me to build a maternity wing. It's around 58 million Kenya shillings. I think when they saw the plight and what we are doing, they decided which way now to help us continuously to buy medicine and food. So they started Mates for Africa. So you've been helping me since that time. I wish how much we had spent every bit that we had, it was gone. So sometimes they come and give us some money to buy medicine, to build, and just for the issue upkeep. That's the way you have come, and I'm so happy. Thank you.
In looking back over your life, what regrets do you have? I know you don't have any.
Well, we all have regrets, and everyone has a regret, isn't it? I don't have much regrets. No. I just live a day at a time. Serving God. I need to give this Christian training that I got to boys and girls from the villages and beyond, so that when I'm gone, at least they are also doing something to serve the community and the world. If you are Christian, you are born to serve, just like Christ did it. We are Christian, Christ-like. When Jesus was on earth, he served. He did all that he could to serve. And so when we are Christians, we are Christ-like. So you serve. You do everything before you die. What do you want to do? After all, eventually when we die, I will not go with anything. All these things, I'll leave them behind. So God may ask you a simple question. You are there on earth, what did you do for me? Did you take care of the orphan? The small children, girls that want to go to school? Maybe trained nurses who will take care of the sick? Always just live for God. Do what you can. Live a day at a time. Just imagine that that day is your last on earth. Like today. Imagine it's your last day to live. What are you going to do before you go to heaven? So from morning, the time you wake up, at the time you sleep, you have done something. You sleep when you are tired. I wake up at 4 every day and sleep at midnight. That means I sleep just for a few hours. I always tell people blankets are no good for you. Don't stay too many hours inside the blanket. Just get up and do something.
That's beautiful.